The opening of Steel Magnolias is a masterclass in deceptive establishment. We are introduced to Truvvy's beauty salon in Chinquapin, Louisiana, a pastel-hued sanctuary of gossip, hairspray, and camaraderie. Director Herbert Ross and screenwriter Robert Harling, adapting his own play, immediately ground us in a specific, warmly lit world of Southern femininity. The dialogue crackles with humor and affection, establishing the core group of women with economic precision. This setting isn't just backdrop. It becomes the film's emotional and narrative heart, a private stage where masks are removed. The salon functions as a secular confessional, a place where the performative aspects of Southern womanhood are both maintained and, crucially, deconstructed under the trusted gaze of friends. At the center of this web is Shelby, played with luminous determination by Julia Roberts. Her storyline, a young woman with type 1 diabetes who risks her health for motherhood, is the narrative engine. The film refuses to sanitize her choice or frame it purely as recklessness. Instead, it presents it as a profound, premeditated act of will. A declaration that a life defined by caution is to her not a life fully lived. This complexity elevates Shelby beyond a tragic figure. Her desire is treated with respect, even as the camera doesn't flinch from the physical toll. Roberts embodies a fierce, joyful vitality that makes the looming shadow of her illness all the more poignant and terrifying. Millen Shelby's mother, portrayed by Sally Field in a career-defining performance, represents the other side of this existential coin, where Shelby sees possibility, Millen sees peril. Her arc is one of controlled anxiety, of loving so deeply it becomes a form of sustained terror. Field masterfully shows a woman holding a dam of emotion through sheer force of will. Every concerned glance, every tightened smile, is a brick in that wall. Her love is practical, protective, and desperate. The film's genius is in making both perspectives. Shelby's defiant optimism and Millen's fearful pragmatism equally valid and heartbreakingly irreconcilable. This isn't a simple conflict. It's the tragic core of parental love facing the autonomy of a child. The supporting quartet, Truvy Clary, Owyster, and Enel, are far more than comic relief. They form a Greek chorus of lived experience, each representing a different facet of womanhood and survival. Truvy is the nurturer and connector, Claire Ree, the wealthy widow navigating loss with wit, Owyster the cynic, whose bark hides profound loyalty, and Enel the transformable seeker. Their razor-sharp banter, particularly the legendary exchanges between Claire and Owyster, serves a critical function. It is the language of their bond, a way to metabolize pain through humor. They provide the context that makes Shelby's story not an isolated tragedy, but a communal event. Their presence argues that no woman, not even a mother, should grieve alone. The film's structure meticulously builds towards its famous cemetery scene, but its power lies in the quiet moments preceding the storm. Consider the sequence of Shelby's medical crisis after the Easter egg hunt. Ross uses tight close-ups on Shelby's pale face and Millen's terrified eyes, juxtaposed with the chaotic, almost surreal normalcy of children playing in the background. The sound design mutes the laughter, focusing on labored breathing. It's a visceral illustration of how tragedy erupts within the mundane. The hospital scenes that follow are stark, fluorescent, and silent compared to the salon's warm chatter. This visual and oral contrast heightens the isolation of medical trauma, making the return to the salon's community later feel like a vital lifeline. The much celebrated cemetery scene is a masterpiece of emotional escalation and release. After the formalities of the funeral, Mellon's composure shatters. Sally Field's monologue, "I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine," is a torrent of rage, guilt, and unimaginable pain directed at the universe, God, and herself. It's raw, ugly, and breathtakingly honest. The response from her friends is not platitudes, but the perfectly timed, outrageous joke from Claire about hitting Oizer. This isn't dismissal. It's the ultimate act of empathy. They throw her a lifeline made of laughter, knowing her grief is too vast for comfort. They meet her hysterical pain with hysterical comedy, creating a cathartic bridge back to the world of the living. This seamless blend of humor and pathos is the film's defining tonal achievement. It rejects the notion that grief must be solemn and uninterrupted. In the world of Steel Magnolias, laughter and tears are not opposites, but two sides of the same coin, often occurring in the same breath. The wit is a survival mechanism, a way to assert humanity in the face of absurd suffering. This tonal balance prevents the film from becoming a melodramatic dirge and instead makes its tragedy feel authentically lived in. The characters don't just suffer, they endure, and their humor is the tool of that endurance. It's a radical affirmation that joy can coexist with and even defiantly punctuate profound sorrow. Beneath its pastel aesthetic, the film offers a subtle but sharp critique of Southern social expectations, particularly for women. The pressure to be strong, to maintain appearances, to always be a steel magnolia, delicate on the outside, tough on the inside, is both a source of strength and a prison. Mellon embodies this conflict most acutely. The film questions at what cost this strength comes. The beauty salon becomes a subversive space where these expectations can be momentarily suspended, where hair can be big, words can be frank, and vulnerability can be shown. The film ultimately argues that true strength isn't stoic silence, but the courage to fall apart and be held up by your community. The legacy of Steel Magnolias endures because it treats its women's lives with unwavering seriousness and respect. It doesn't condescend to its characters or its audience. It presents motherhood, friendship, illness, and death not as plot devices, but as the fundamental messy material of life. In an era often dismissive of women's pictures, it proved that stories centered on female interiority could wield immense emotional and cultural power. It remains a touchstone for its honest depiction of grief that doesn't offer easy answers, and for its celebration of friendship as an active, verbal, and sometimes gloriously rude force that can literally save a life from the abyss. In conclusion, Steel Magnolias is far more than a tearjerker. It is a meticulously constructed, deeply humane study of community as a bulwark against fate's cruelty. Through its impeccable ensemble cast, razor-sharp script, and fearless balance of comedy and tragedy, it creates a lasting testament to the complexity of love, parental, platonic, and personal. The film insists that life's greatest tragedies are born in the context of life's ongoing, ridiculous, and beautiful chatter. The final image isn't of loss, but of continuation. The women, diminished but not defeated, walking together out of the cemetery and back into the world, forever changed but unbroken, truly magnolias of steel.